Okay, starting with autofocus, that's great. So, for those who don't know, there is a new game coming out soon called Rumbleverse. Rumbleverse is basically think Fortnite, but with like instead of using guns and whatnot, you're just punching the crap out of somebody else, which is fine. I enjoy a good free for all in a fighting game, so I'm all for it. But as I was like thinking about the game, I was kind of thinking at some point, much like Fortnite and a lot of these other, free for all multiplayer games, is that eventually we're going to have some guest characters show up. So I thought it would be kind of fun to throw my hat in the arena of what characters would be pretty fun to have as guest characters in Rumbleverse. A game that hasn't come... Well, it has come out in, like, tidbits, but, like, not a full release from under my understanding. So I'm just going to throw my hat in the arena and talk about what characters I could personally see in Rumbleverse. Get what guest characters, and I'm always excited to hear what you guys have to say. So please leave a comment in the description. You already know how to do this. So please leave it a comment below of what characters you would love to see be guest characters in Rumbleverse. I'm always excited to hear what you guys have to say. So let's start off with the first one. This is one, even though I'm not the biggest fan of, I do see this happening. Like, I do see this happening in some degree because this company will probably try to, and it's kind of perfect for it. And that's WWE. I do think, I think this is the most one of the most possible of the guests, because WWE, it just Rumbleverse itself just screams it needs to cross over with WWE and have wrestlers in there, or the ones you don't have going over to AEW. Although there is a chance, AEW could jump on this to really show WWE who is the new wrestling, superpower, is if Rumbleverse gets AEW. Not the biggest. I used to be a big wrestling guy. Now I'm not. I do have a lot of wrestling fans, and I got a lot of wrestling friends and subscribers on here. So I'm pretty sure a lot of guys are thinking WWE or AEW for would be the best one for Rumbleverse. What wrestlers could you see? Maybe the Iconics for the Diva side. Sasha Banks would also be... I'm just mentioning the Divas first, just so I can... just because those were the... that was just the first thing when I thought of the Iconics. I was like, oh yeah, we can get Sasha Banks, too. I would say... John Cena is probably the most... And Roman Reigns. It's probably... if we're going to get, for actual wrestlers... Well, not to say Banks and the Iconics aren't real wrestlers. I'm saying, if, the first wrestlers they would put out there would more than likely be Roman Reigns and John Cena. Maybe The Rock as well, since they kind of... him and Dwayne Johnson and WWE still work together, so could be a chance we get The Rock as well. Like I said, I would like to see Iconics and Sasha Banks. I would like to see... Maybe we can bring back... since, I know he's retired, but can we bring back Sheamus and maybe Bryan Adams? I mean, they just need to lend their voices. And Big Show. I don't think Big Show's retired. This is how much of wrestling I know of. So, yeah. So maybe those guys can be the wrestling characters. For AEW, I know Chris Jericho's over there. And I know a lot of... I need to be more familiarized with who hasn't left WWE to go to AEW, but any wrestling group would probably be the best for Rumbleverse in terms of guest character, and that would be the first one. I guarantee you, if not them first, but they would probably be in contention to be guest characters when they start letting them in here. So there you go, wrestling for Rumbleverse. It's just perfect. Characters just beat the shit out of each other for points and whatnot. It's literally writes itself. So let's talk about the more outlandish ones for an outlandish game. Yeah, as you probably saw the icon or the thumbnail rather, Street Fighter. If you were to ask me personally which one I would pick to be the first guest characters in Rumbleverse, it would be Street Fighter. It was actually the idea of Street Fighter being in Rumbleverse was the idea. And kind of the idea to do this video. Having Ryu in here, Chun-Li, I'd probably have about 5 characters from Street Fighter in here, and my 5 would be Ryu, Chun-Li, Ken, Bison, and Juri Hanma. Or Blanca, that's the other switch out too. But yeah, the other reason, like, again, it's a fighting game, in a free-form fighting game, I think that would be totally perfect. And, like, it's not like Street Fighter hasn't been shy from guest characters before. Obviously, Ryu's shown up in Super Smash Bros. There was Tekken versus Street Fighter, where Akuma did show up in the following Tekken game. You also had Ryu and Chun-Li show up in the Power Rangers game. Yeah. So, yeah, I think Street Fighter would probably be another one of those hot, like, it's possible. Like, I do think if Rumbleverse starts letting in guest characters, Street Fighter is definitely up there in the most possible. Like, the idea of doing the Hadouken in the game would be really cool. Actually, what was I thinking? I forgot Akuma. Of course I'd want Akuma in this game. Absolutely. So, yeah. I know there's a ton of Street Fighter characters, but they probably limit it down to like maybe 5 at most. But obviously Ryu and Chun-Li would definitely be in there, along with Bison and Akuma. Actually, yeah, Cammy too. Damn, there's so many good Street Fighter characters, it'd be hard to pick, so I'm gonna leave that up to the devs on the off chance they're seeing this video. On the very off chance they see this video. Following that, speaking of Tekken, Tekken's the other one. I would love to see Tekken in here. Kazuya did show up in Street Fighter, so and again, gotta reference the other times Tekken characters have shown up. You gotta have Heihachi in here. Heihachi would be really fun to have in this game, as well as the rest of the Mishima family. As for others, Steve Fox. You gotta have my boy Brian Fury and Yoshimitsu here. My favorite character, my boy King. You have gotta, if you do, on the off chance they do a Tekken as guest characters in Rumbleverse, I seriously want King. King's my favorite character in the game, in the Tekken game. So, King definitely. But yeah, they'll probably just have like maybe just Heihachi and Kazuya and Jin for it. So, following that, Mortal Kombat. Now this would be a little more difficult because I don't know if Warner Brothers will play nice with Rumbleverse if they do allow guest characters. Mortal Kombat, yeah, just have Scorpion and Sub-Zero, and if you were to have like a max amount of characters, just have the core ones of Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Raiden, Johnny Cage, Sonya Blade, and if you want 2 more, Liu Kang and Kitana. There you go. That would be a lot of fun just to have, get over here! And maybe, like, if you can, I would imagine the equipment system is, like, you could use the gear from Mortal Kombat. Like, you'd use Scorpion's chain as a weapon in here. You could add that to your character. And, yeah, maybe add their costumes. I don't know. Like, that's the thing. Like, maybe they'll do, special costumes as well for these guest characters. So, there's always a possibility for that. So my next one is my next guest characters, and this is another one I do think is possible. Like, I do think this company would be more than willing to allow these characters show up in Rumbleverse, and that's the Ninja Turtles. I know, you're already thinking, there's no way they would put the Ninja Turtles in here. Have you seen what Epic Games has put in Fortnite, or who's been in there? Literally anyone can just fucking get in there, so yeah. Why I say the Ninja Turtles is because, much like Rumbleverse, and I'm talking it would probably be the 80s version of the Ninja Turtles, so I would say just follow up with the fun 80s version of the Turtles, and yeah, just the Ninja Turtles and Shredder. That's all you really need, and Casey Jones too. So get those guys. You could use their gear. You could maybe give your character the Ninja Turtle headband, their masks. That'd be a lot of fun. And again, it just kind of feels right because the thing about the Ninja Turtles is that they're such malleable characters, and they could easily fit in here as they would in a Mortal Kombat game or like as we saw in an Injustice game. And Nickelodeon has been very open with using the Ninja Turtle allowing the Ninja Turtle characters to show up in other stuff. Hell, they did an animated movie with Batman, so they're obviously cool with it. But yeah, the moment I saw this, like the other one that did come to mind outside of Street Fighter for Rumbleverse guest characters, it was the Ninja Turtles. Yeah. So following that, we have... I think it's possible we could get some Marvel and DC characters too. As to who? Batman, obviously. Batman's one. Obviously the Avengers. Like, if we can see them in Fortnite, they may show up. Depending on how popular Rumbleverse gets, it's anyone's game as to who could be in there. I mean, hell, I'm almost shocked. We could get the Predator and Alien, because they show up in Fortnite. Why wouldn't they show up here? Hell, Snake Eyes, G.I. Joe. Like, G.I. Joe's another one. There's a lot that Epic Games could really play with. So, but I just talked about my core ones. You guys tell me in the comments below. Who would you like to see guest star in Rumbleverse in this upcoming game? It was just a random thought late at night. I know the game isn't out yet, but we'll see if later on down the line if they'll allow I don't know, Power Rangers or Ninja Turtles or guest characters in general in the game. But let's let the game come out and see how it's received. So other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. If you haven't already, go hit the link below to my Patreon. Just did 2 new videos, so hope you all enjoyed that. But other than that, I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.